Well, one person who is in Katowice for those climate change talks is James Ellsmoor, who's the Director of Solar Head of State. Good morning to you, Mr. Ellsmoor. Thank you for being with us on the programme this morning. Now, the conference is essentially, this conference now, over the next couple of weeks, is to decide on a rule book to implement the Paris Agreement of 2015. Many of our viewers might be forgiven for thinking all of that was sorted back in 2015 with the Paris Climate Change Agreement. So why is it taking so long to get these details finalised?
The negotiations have over 190 different parties trying to come to an agreement, so you can only imagine the difficulty in getting any level of consensus that all parties are willing to commit to. So these agreements, I mean, this is already 24 years of discussions, and I really hope that this year we can make some progress. As you said, our host nation is very dependent on coal and has been almost schizophrenic in its attitude towards the conferences. And so unfortunately that does worry me a little bit, but we can hope that actually making this next stage with the rule book will at least push countries to commit to certain levels of carbon cuts.
Well, let's talk a little bit about what governments are doing. You help governments to become greener by installing solar energy systems on government buildings. Are you happy with the uptake that you get? Do you think enough political will is there?
It's difficult to make any generalization because there are so many differences across countries around the world. I'm actually here with the support team for the Republic of the Seychelles. It's a small island developing state of 100,000 people. And so I am advising them on renewable energy progress in the country, and I work with other small island states in the Caribbean and other regions. Now, those countries are making really concrete steps towards renewable energy, and you've got to remember that they're also the biggest victims of climate change. Hurricanes, rising sea levels are really going to impact those countries. So they're taking an attitude of moral leadership at the negotiations, but we really need to see more action from larger countries, and I only wish that our host nation was taking a more proactive attitude.
Absolutely. I mean, we've had a series of damning reports recently saying that the world is on track for 3 degrees of global warming rather than the 1.5 degrees that is the target. Do you think it's already too late for us to meet our self-imposed Paris targets?
Well, small island states have actually been calling for a 1.5 degree target, and many scientists think it's already too late to hit that 1.5 degree target. It is possible still to hit that 2 degree target, but we really need fast action. And unfortunately, every COP we're hit with some bad news. 2 years ago, it was the election of Donald Trump. Last year, it was the US pulling out. And this year, it's Brazil, Brazil's new president, and Brazil pulling out of next year's event. So we need action from these big countries and big polluters. And I think there is still a way that with strong commitments from the European Union and China and India, we could make progress, but it's really difficult to say at this point.
Well, thank you very much. James Ellsmoor, Director of Solar Head of State, with a rather, at times, dramatic and soothing bed of music behind him.